What's going on, YouTube family? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you today to talk to you about another lake breakdown. Tonight we're going into Possum Kingdom, but instead of doing the Google Earth breakdown, we're actually we're going to hit the offshore hotspots through Navionics. So stick around, I got some good stuff for you. Let's go. Let's go ahead and jump into this. So Possum Kingdom offshore, exciting stuff. As I mentioned in the introduction, we've lost all of our waypoints on my phone, or I lost all my waypoints on my phone. I think I actually deleted them. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through this pretty much on my PC here as opposed to doing it on the phone. And then anytime you want the waypoints, just go out there and look at them. They're on that KML file. And I've also got them on our site, simplisticfishing.com. You guys heard me talk about that a lot. So they will be out there. So any of the ones that I talk about today, they're going to be out there. Pretty much mark them the same way. I just don't have a way to replicate it on my phone really easily. So I'm going to have to just wing it here and do it this way. So let's go ahead and start up here at the dam. And what we'll do is let's start on the southern bank line. So we'll just start on the southern bank line. We'll work all the way our way up, and then we'll work our way all the way back down. So if we're talking here in regards to this bank, well, obviously this is a big bluff wall, right? This whole lake is pretty much a river system. So this whole entire bluff wall over here is going to be where you got major depth, you're going to have boulders, stuff like that, all those things that we talked about. So from an offshore standpoint, it's kind of hard to say if I should put a point out there. I guess I could just say, bluff wall, but that would be all that I could offer you in that area. In fact, instead of going up the bank line, let's just go ahead and let's just cover this whole area. We'll kind of go in chunks at a time, make it a little bit easier. So up in here, not seeing too much. You may have a little bit of a point right here with a little bit of a flat top that you could potentially check out. I do like the fact that it's down here by the dam, and it's a little bit, it's pretty much on pretty much another swing right here. So definitely check out that point. Now, when we get further up here, there's a couple spots I want you to look at. Right here, obviously, decent little point, right, with a nice little flat top and a real sharp drop. So really sharp drop right in that area. Check that one out. And then as we get over here, these are going to be a little bit harder to see, but definitely if you go out and you look at the KML file, you'll see where I marked them as offshore hotspots. So you'll want to go check them out. But basically, if I zoom in here, you'll be able to see them, hopefully. And I don't know if you will or not, but there's little fishes right here where my mouse is. And these are all the Texas Park and Wildlife brush piles. So you've got multiple brush piles over here off these points. And this point right here also has some rock that's over on the top of it. So you've got this really long extending point with some brush piles on each side. So I think this point right here, really of all of them, this one looks the best because it's got the piles on both sides, plus it has the really long top. But this point over here also has a brush pile on it right here off the end of it. So check that one out. And as we move further down, there's another brush pile out here off the tip down in this area. Plus you got a really good break there. You notice where you're pretty much going from, say, 12 to 15 feet all the way down to 25 or 30 feet. So that's very significant. So you definitely want to go check that out. And then as we move just a little bit further down, there's another Texas Park and Wildlife fish attractor right off the edge of this point. There's another one right here off of this point as well. And then move it over from a contour perspective, I would probably look, maybe in here. Sometimes I like to look at things that aren't as obvious because all the obvious things, everybody knows how to look at them. But if you look right here, you've got a little bit of a ledge that's going on right here in this area. So that could be worthy of taking a look at. You could also move over to this point that's right here. It's got a pretty decent little flat top, not crazy, but pretty little sharp drop right off the edge of it as well. And anytime you have those main lake points, you definitely want to check those out. So as I move further up here, let's just kind of look. Remember, we're kind of looking at the lake as a whole as opposed to just going up the shoreline. Let's go back here in this cove and take a look and see if we see anything back in here. So as I move further in here, definitely very deep. I'm not seeing anything too crazy from a contour perspective that really piques my interest. But if I was a dock fisherman, I would start fishing these docks pretty much right after that fuel dock, right after this one, maybe fish around this one. But man, any of these docks right here, any of those, I don't know if those are marinos or docks or whatever they are, but they're right on the edge of the creek channel. So definitely go check those out and see what you can find right in there because those look pretty healthy. It almost looks like the creek channel swings this way and then maybe it comes back out. So I would just look in there and see. I just really like how you got that really sharp drop right there, right underneath those docks. Some really good deep docks to go check out. As far as offshore stuff, moving back in here, I'm not seeing anything too crazy until we get right around in here. So this could have some potential depending on how deep it is. That may be too deep and then drop off to even deeper water. But again, the fish are going to be a lot deeper in this lake. It's clear water, all that good stuff. But I would definitely come out here and just check and look right around in this area, right where this creek bed kind of swings back around this way and makes that turn. There's a little point, a little underwater point there. It's hard to tell the depth that you get right in that area, but I would definitely look right around in here. And then, of course, you guys heard me talk about it. We don't need to talk about it on the offshore stuff, but anywhere where those creek beds get really close to the bank line or touch the bank line, especially on the points, you've got to fish those areas. There's no doubt. You don't even need to ask me if that's a good spot to fish because absolutely it's going to be a great spot to fish. So as we move a little bit further up here, we're just kind of going up the river channel here, just looking to see if there's anything crazy. Let's look over here on the right side. Nothing too crazy there. Obviously, main lake points, so you want to check them out. But this point over here looks so much better than, say, the point we were looking at right over here. So if we come back, this point right here looks really good. It's got a flat top. The river channel is fairly close by. You've got really deep water that's really close by. And then you've got this nice little feeding table that's right up in here. So this would be a really good offshore spot to go check out on this lake without a doubt. As we move further up here, we get back here into this cove. A lot of these contours are pretty much the same. So I can't say that anything looks too spectacular, but this one here looks like it's a lot shallower. So if you look here, everything else has a little bit wider lines, or this one's a little bit tighter lines. This one's a little wider, so you got a little bit of a flat going on right in here, but this one looks a little bit more defined, like it stays shallow for a lot longer, and then it's got drops on both sides. So I could see possibly this being a pretty good area to fish. So go check that one out as well. Also, when you're over here, this is going to be pretty deep. You got a road bed out here, so you can always check out those road beds. And then if you follow that road bed up, it's actually going to swing back by this dock right here. So check out the road bed right there around that dock. See if you can find anything in that area. And then real quick, I'm just going to pause for a second. I'm just going to ask you real quick. If there's something on the screen, I'm seeing 2 primo spots to look at on the screen. See if you can identify them really quick. I'll give you about 2 or 3 seconds. All right, so hopefully you picked the same ones I did. And if not, man, leave a comment down below and let me know which spot you actually picked. Maybe take a screenshot or something. I don't know how to do it. But anyways, just let me know if you picked the same spots. But if I'm looking at this, and we already talked about the road beds that I didn't count, if I'm looking at 2 primo spots, so spots that look very interesting, I would definitely want to go scan. One is going to be right here. So right off the edge of this dock where you've got that really sharp drop, there's some kind of a ledge going on right here. So that would be the first place I would look. Hopefully you guys said the same. And then the second place I would look is maybe not so obvious, but it's in the same general area, would be right over here. So you can see where there's like a little mini ledge going on right here. It's probably not, but 20 or 30 feet long, but there's definitely a little bit of a ledge right there. Now, obviously, all these places where you've got the drops going on those docks, those are good as well. But these 2 spots, this area right there, I don't know how I did that, but that area right there and this area right here are definitely going to be the areas that you're going to want to go look at. All right, so let's keep moving on. Let's see what else we can find. So as we move further up here, the next thing that's probably going to be a really good spot, I mean, this is good too. This area right in here is pretty decent as well because it has the has the little ridges and things like that. But I also like this hump that's right here. So this little point that's out here, you can see right there where my mouse is, where that hump is, that is a really good area as well. It's got a nice flat top. I really like how that sets up. And I would definitely go fishing, especially come fall time. As we move further over here, you got a little island over here, so you could come out and fish around the back side of the island right in there, or you could fish up here. off the front side of the island as well to see if you could find anything there. But that one didn't look that juicy to me. But what does look juicy to me is right here. You guys might not be able to see it, but right there is a fish attractor. So if you go out there and look at that, the fish attractor side is right there. This is pretty cool that I have this arrow now because now you guys can see what I'm actually clicking on. And then we also have another fish that's right in here, which would be another fish attractor side as well. So that would be right there in that area. Now you do have a nice, pretty big flat that's right in this area. So you can see we've got a decent little flat going on here. There's so many fish attractors here. There's another one right here. So I'll try to click that mark again so you guys can see it. So we got a fish attractor there. We've got two fish attractors out here off of this point. One right there and one right there. So you got three fish attractors. 1, 2, 3, and then this one over here too. So really got 4. Oh, there's another one, 5. It's got 5 different fish attractors all right around in this site. So these are all really good, nice big flat tops coming out, nice points coming out. This is definitely a hot spot area. Just that whole area in there is going to be good. But go out and check out those waypoints. They're going to put you right on those fish attractor sites. So then we're going to keep moving up here. We're just kind of looking, right? Looking for those flat tops, those points. This one looks pretty good as well. Right here, it's got a little 8-foot top. It's a decent little break. Really, this one's kind of hidden, but right in here, this looks pretty decent. You've got a little flat top here. And then right over here, you can see where you've got some really good breaks. So I can see those two being decent as well. As we move further down in here, we're going to get down, I don't know. This looks like it actually could be off limits or something. I don't know. It's got red buoys. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's just no wake. But right here off the edge of this point, the point's got a little flat top, but the edge looks like it's got a pretty significant break. So maybe looking off the edge of that point, really, your main fish are probably going to be further over here, over there in the main river arm or river channel. So as we move further down here, next thing to look at obviously would be this bridge, submerged bridge way out there. That's going to be way out there in like 100 foot of water, but go check it out and see if there's anything around it. It might be too far underneath the water to check out, but I would at least go and look at it and see. And if you have fished out here on Possum Kingdom, let me know, is that bridge a fishable bridge, or is it just too deep that you can't even really fish for it as far as bass? So as we move further down here, we're just kind of making the swing, right? We went through here, went all the way up here, and now we're making the swing over to here, looking for offshore spots. So the next thing I'm going to really point out would be right here. So again, we've got the flat top, which you guys have heard me talk about. They'll get up here and feed. They'll come out here as a spin. So I would definitely look right around in here, right where this little point is, where the shallow top is, and also where that break is right in there. Another area you could look at would be right in there, where you see those sharp contours right here, or maybe even right here. But either one of those places, that's probably going to be too deep. And then as we move further down, the next thing I would probably point out to you guys, it's going to take me a minute to find something. I'm not really seeing anything on the screen that really looks juicy to me. This spot right here looks like it could be interesting. Let me put that back there, right there, where you see that little flat top. And then also as we move further over here, we kind of get back into this cove. Let's see if we see anything over in this area. No, nothing too juicy there. Let's go back in here. This is we're on Devil's Island. We're going to move back in here. We're going to see what we can find. So let's follow this creek channel back. As we do that, obviously you're going to want to look at spots like this. This looks like a really primo spot right there. I don't know if you can cut through this middle or not. If you can, that's pretty easy. Just cut right over. You could be right on that spot pretty quickly. But all of this looks like it has a pretty big break right in this area. But as we move further down, this creek channel gets pretty skinny right in here. Again, you'll want to be looking, fishing those spots where it really slams up against the walls, those two spots right in there. And as we move further back, I'm not seeing anything offshore, but definitely, checking like right in here. This would be a really good spot to look at, just right in that little area right in there. All right, so we're going to come back out of there. We're going to flip back out, and we're going to see what else we can find. So we talked about that point earlier. As we move further down, we're kind of looking around, seeing if we see anything crazy. I don't see anything there, but do you see anything here? Because I definitely do see something here that would get my attention, and that's going to be right here. So you can see that there's a little point that's coming off here, almost like a little hump because it comes up to 13 foot and then it's dropping to like 80 foot. So you've got a really big ridge right in this area right here. So it's definitely a spot that you'll want to go check out. Again, it's right in that area right there. So let's keep moving down. So we move further down here, coming down the creek channel swing. Right in here could be decent too, just looking off the edge of this point. So maybe come in here and take a look at that. Also, as you move further down into this area, just kind of following the creek channel swing, you got a pretty nice little flat top up here. You can check that out. And then moving back, I'm not seeing anything too crazy that you're going to want to dial in. Well, let me go back there. Might have lied to you. Dial in from an offshore spot. So right here, this could be interesting because you've got a bluff wall that's right here at the top, and then you come off right here and you've got a pretty good little feeding table that's going on right in that area. So check that out. Also check out this little point that's right here. I think that's about as far back as we can go in that one. So let's move back up and let's go immediately go north of there, and let's see if there's anything back up here in this pocket. So obviously right here, this is a good spot to look. This point doesn't look as good, but it's a secondary point leading back into a cove that's got a nice flat to it. I can see this being a good spawning area for the fish back in here. Just because you can see it's nice and shallow. Plus it's north facing, so it's protected by the wind. So they've got to have a place to stage. If they're going to spawn here, they're going to take their time getting back there. So where are they going to stage at? Well, they'll probably stage up on that dock. They'll probably stage up right here on this point. They may stage up back on this dock as well. And then they may come out here later on in the winter and just hang out right here on this ledge where they can come up here and they can feed and all that stuff. And then they start the migration again. So when you're looking at the map that way, I know I'm kind of getting off on a tirade here, but when you're looking at the map that way, it's a really good way to try to find the fish. Is if you can figure out, or if you know, if you're local to the lake, or if you fish the lake a lot, especially if you fish it in the spawning season, if you can figure out where they're spawning, you can pretty much start tracking their path back. So that's a really good key to finding fish. Is if you can figure out locate where they're going to spawn at, then just start tracking them back because they're not going to go that far. They're going to go pretty far, but not extremely far. And then of course you got your dock fish. A lot of those guys are just residential fish. They don't even move. So let's keep on moving. Sorry for the little story there. Hopefully it helps you guys. But moving up, looking for any type of major contour that's really going to stick out to make us say, hey, this is an offshore spot. Right in here, these little turn-ins that happen, these can be pretty good as well because they create pretty decent little ledges and pretty nice little drops. So maybe right in that area, you could go check that out. And I tell you what, guys, let's go up here. We'll go past this bend. When we get right to this bend, let's stop at Bug Beach, and that's where we'll end this video on this segment, and then we'll keep moving forward. So let's keep going up here. This point right here, this one sticks out like a sore thumb. Everything else kind of looked the same until we got right to that area. And then when we got right there, that looks very interesting. So you got a nice little point that comes out with a nice flat top, very deep water to it. So I could see that being a pretty good area to take a look at. All right. Also, as we move further up here, if you look right here, there's a tire reef. Now we may have already selected that tire reef before on the Google Earth waypoints, but definitely go check that out. If there is a tire reef there, that could be really good. And then as we move up here on the bend, really just on this bend, you're looking to see, is there anything from a contour perspective that sticks out right here? This looks interesting. Look how much different it is than everything else around it. Everything else around it's pretty much sharp drop, sharp drop, sharp drop. And that's got a sharp drop too, but this one's got a little point that comes out. So I would look right in here for sure. That's going to be a waypoint for you guys. And then as you move further up here, now you're getting into some better stuff that we can actually fish around, right? It's not so crazy and deep. Right here where it says rock hazard, there's something going on right in that area. So again, it's right there off that little point. You've also got this road bed that runs up and down. You can see right in here. So you've got the road bed. And then as we move further up here, you've got a little island that's out here as well. So a pretty good island to fish around. the roadbed over there. You've also got another point that's right here. So nice little shallow point with some good breaks on both sides of it. This dock's got some pretty good breaks underneath it as well. And I believe that's really it that I wanted to point out to you guys in the back of there. So let's keep moving on. Let's go down here real quick and just see if there's anything down here. And you got some flooded timber, so this looks good. Flooded timber fairly close to the river channel, so maybe go check that out. Wouldn't be really my primary I would go look at, but I do like the fact that it's a nice flat point that comes out. But if I was fishing this area, I'd probably go pick right in here where it says flooded timber, because you've got the flooded timber that's right here. Plus you've got a roadbed that's going on right there, and you've got some pretty deep water that's just outside of that. And then, well, I guess while I'm here, I might as well show you this. I am seeing just a ton of marks for those fish attractors right in this area. So I'm just going to click them for you really quick and show them to you. And I think that's going to take us back up to that Bug Beach. But we got one here. I've got another one right here. Another one over here. And again, we've marked these for you. We imported these files in from Texas Park and Wildlife onto the KML file. We got another one right there and another one right there. So that's 6 different fish attractor sites right there in that area. In fact, it's going to make it 7 because I see another one right here off this little point. So a really good area to be fishing around. Definitely crappie fishermen, cat fishermen, bass fishermen, all you fishermen alike. That is going to be a really good area to fish around. So check a look at that. That's going to be just outside. If you were to launch at Bug Beach, just go straight across, start finding where those points come across, and then you're going to come across those fish attractors pretty quickly. So let's go back up here really quick, just because we're going to finish here at Bug Beach, and that'll cover us for this area. But let's go around this swing here, and let's talk about, make sure we didn't miss anything up here around these docks. This right here looks pretty interesting. You can see there's a little hump that comes out, totally different than everything else. 18 foot of water, and then has some really good breaks off the side of it. So definitely go look at that spot. And then as we move further in here, I'm just kind of looking around these docks to see if there's anything crazy that sticks out. Possibly. Now, I'm not going to say this looks great, because I do like the fact this has a big flat area up here, and then it has some break off here. But maybe come out here and look right off the edge, right in here, and see if you can find anything just outside of where that contour break happens. And that, we're going to stop right there at Bug Beach. Next video, we're going to start at Bug Beach, and we'll just keep going down and see what we can cover. But made some pretty good progress today on Possum Kingdom. But hopefully that's going to help you guys, especially as we get into this wintertime fishing. If you're not out here fishing the bluff walls, which obviously in the wintertime you need to focus on that a lot. But if you're not fishing on those and you still want to do some offshore fishing, hopefully these waypoints will really help you out, or at least get you started on the right pattern to go in and finding those fish. Hey, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. And go check out our site, simplisticfishing.com. We're up to 40 lakes now out on our site with all kinds of waypoints for offshore and all the Google stuff. It's good stuff. You guys need to go check it out. It's definitely going to make your fishing a lot simpler. Until next time, guys, I hope you catch your PB.